Today I'm going to be talking to you all about Swedish massage. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation so I can talk you through the slides and information easily that I prepared. Okay, if you've got any questions, if you could just write them down and leave them to the end, that would be great. Okay, so Swedish massage is the most commonly used type of massage. It's often referred to as body massage as well. It originated in Sweden in the 18th century and then further developed by Per Henrik Ling. So why do people have Swedish massage? There is a vast number of reasons why people may go for Swedish massage. People generally do have Swedish massage to alleviate some muscular tension that they may have if the muscles are feeling a little bit stiff as well. The second reason people may go for Swedish massage is for relaxation. Another reason is general well-being. Can aid the elimination of toxins and help break down adipose tissue, which is a fatty tissue that we all have on our bodies. So there are a lot of people that do have Swedish massage. I would say the main people that do come in for Swedish massage are people who work in offices. So people who are at desks all day long, hunched up, working on laptops and computers, typing quite a bit and sat down for a lot of the day. The reason for this is it's not really what our bodies are designed to do, sit down for long periods of time, and especially not in quite difficult positions, being hunched up like I've mentioned. So generally people do get quite a bit of tension, mainly in the neck and shoulders and in the lower back as well. So Swedish massage can just help loosen up the muscles, give them a stretch out and like I say, alleviate quite a bit of the tension. People who are very active can benefit a lot from Swedish massage. So people who may go running, cycling, play football, rugby, all sorts of different sports. They tend to get quite a lot of tension build up in their legs or wherever they may be using for that particular activity. So it's a good idea if you are fairly active to get Swedish massage on a regular basis, because it can just help keep the muscles nice and relaxed and so that they work to the maximum potential, and it helps prevent the lactic acid build up, so you want to stop that achy feeling after you have done exercise. Quite a lot of elderly people can benefit from Swedish massage, and that is because sometimes when you get older, what often happens is we tend to get a bit of arthritis, a bit of degeneration in our joints, and although massage can't specifically help with the arthritis or degeneration, what tends to happen when you're in quite a bit of pain with a certain joint, say for example if you have arthritis in your neck and it feels quite uncomfortable to move to left and right, what people tend to do is, it's only natural, they stop moving the neck. Now this helps temporarily with the pain, but what can happen is because you're not moving, because you're not stretching out those muscles to left and right and forwards and backwards, then you can get, the muscles can become quite stiff and some tension can build up in them, and over long periods of time what can happen if you don't use a muscle as often as you should do, the muscle can actually shorten a little bit, which therefore prevents the muscle from actually moving and you lose a bit of range of motion. People who drive long distances, very similar to what we talked about with people with desk jobs. Our bodies aren't really designed to be sat down for long periods of time, and it can be quite uncomfortable. It's mainly lower back issues with people with who drive long distances. Ladies who are pregnant like to come in for Swedish massage. That can be very beneficial for the body. I mean, during pregnancy and throughout the whole of pregnancy, the body is constantly changing. Your centre of gravity changes and all of your body can be thrown off balance slightly. So it is beneficial for pregnant ladies to come in and just have a bit of massage just to keep those muscles nice and loose and to help them through the transitional stages throughout the pregnancy. People with various different conditions, again we've mentioned arthritis earlier on under the elderly, but there's a vast number of reasons why people may come in for Swedish massage. So Swedish massage is made up of 5 main techniques. The first technique is effleurage. Now this is a slow gliding movement. It's usually used at the very start of the treatment and throughout in between different techniques. And it's to establish a little bit of contact with the client, to warm the actual skin up before you really start working into those muscles. Another technique is called petrissage. Now it's to really knead and pick up those muscles and just get some blood circulating around the muscles that you're actually working on. It's a very good technique again to start warming up the muscles before you start getting the deeper pressure on. Okay. Now once those muscles are nice and warmed up and you start to feel a little bit of tension in some muscles, maybe you can find maybe you found an adhesion, which is commonly around the shoulder blades, which is otherwise referred to as a knot. People say, oh, I've got quite a knotty back at the moment. That's what it may be. An adhesion or knot is actually a localised area of tension where the muscle fibres are permanently contracted in the muscles and it actually gets stuck there. So a good technique to work those adhesions out is frictions. And that is basically where you can use either your thumbs, your fingers, your arms or your knuckles, and it's to really get localised pressure onto that knot and try to force it to break down really. So it's quite a strong technique, so you need to make sure you're nice and warmed up and the client is nice and warmed up before you start moving on to that. Another technique is vibration. This is quite self-explanatory really. If you do find a solid part of the muscle or an adhesion, you can also try and work this out through really compressing the muscle and then just shaking it, causing the vibration through into the muscle, and it can kind of wake up the nerves a little bit, wake up the tissues and just help to separate them as well. So hacking. Hacking is part of a percussion or tapotment technique, and it's basically this sort of movement. You need to make sure your wrists and your hands and your arms are nice and loose, and this is particularly good for, like we mentioned in the other slide, to break down that adipose tissue. Some ladies do actually come in, some gentlemen as well, come in for hacking, cupping, which is where you put your hands in a cup type shape and move them against the body like this. And then another technique is beating. Sounds a bit extreme, but it's where you basically make a fist and just gently start beating on the muscles, and that's very, very good for breaking up those tissues. Okay, so how do we decide who is suitable or not suitable for massage treatments? There is the General Council of Massage Therapists that every therapist in practice should adhere to, and they have produced a document which has practically every condition that you're going to come across in general practice, and it tells you whether that person or that condition is suitable for a massage treatment. Now, it generally refers to Swedish massage when you're reading through this document, and like I say, you must adhere to this. There is two types of indication for massage where you need to research this, you need to look them up. The first one is a total contraindication. Now, this is where it is not suitable for a client to have any massage or any treatment of any sort whatsoever. And then there is a local contraindication where a certain area of the client needs to be avoided, or you need to adapt your treatment appropriately. So an example of a local contraindication would be a verruca on the foot. You've got two choices with that, and it does state this in the GCMT document. You can either put a plaster over the verruca, or you can avoid the foot area completely. An example of a total contraindication where the client is not suitable for treatment and unfortunately you can't carry out treatment on them would be osteoporosis, and that is a condition where the bones are very, very brittle, and if you were to go ahead and do a treatment, there is a risk of actually breaking the bones of the client, which is obviously not what you want to do. Okay, so who is not suitable for treatment? Pregnant ladies are not actually suitable if they are under 12 weeks. So if they're in their first trimester, it is not suitable for treatment at all. So you've got to wait until the pregnancy is really well established and they're into the second trimester before you can carry on the treatments. A very difficult condition is cancer. And it's very tricky to know whether you can or cannot carry out a treatment. So the only advice is, and this is the General Council of Massage Therapists' advice as well, is to seek advice from the client's consultant or specialist or whoever they may be under, and you do actually need written consent for that as well. Anybody who has infectious diseases or disorders, obviously